believe during the Bush-Cheney administration, that Vice President Cheney set a tone and an attitude for the CIA. Many people in the CIA are so patriotic. They protect our country in a way to avoid conflict and violence, etc. But the attitude that was there was very, I think, came from Dick Cheney. That's what I believe.
All right. Well, if Nancy Pelosi believes it, it must not be true. Joining us is former speechwriter for President George W. Bush, and of course, Washington Post columnist and American Enterprise Institute official. We welcome in the one and only Marc Thiessen. Hey, Marc.
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
I am fine. You're doing better than me because you're a Rangers fan and you know you have a postseason. and you know, I almost hope that the Devils don't lose by a point. Or I would have felt better if they lost by 20 points, because to point back to every shootout where they haven't gotten 1 point out of the shootout in 11 tries, it's just going to be too aggravating if they lose by a point to live with that the rest of the way.
Well, it's nice to have for once have a leg up on you with the Devils, believe me.
All right. Anyway, let's turn our attention to what Nancy Pelosi had to say in the topic at hand in your piece in the Washington Post about this whole terrorist interrogation program, and you know the fact that the Senate committee voted to release it, and Obama's going to release it once all the regulations are gone through and the hoops are jumped through and the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and whatever they have to do legally. They're going to release this. And what are we going to find here?
What we're going to find is a partisan hatchet job. I mean, look, this was a report that was done by the Senate Intelligence Committee Democrats by themselves, because the Republicans started out participating in it and saw that what was happening was that this was going to be a one-sided hack job and decided not to participate. And so the Democrats went ahead. They spent $40 million in 6 years writing a 6,400-page report that basically they started with the conclusion that we got nothing out of this interrogation program, and then spent all that time and all that money trying to cherry-pick facts to produce that. John Brennan, who is the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, used to be the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. So he was one of the principal consumers of intelligence from this interrogation program. If it produced no useful intelligence, he would be the first person to tell you this. He's an Obama partisan. He's not a Bush partisan. He helped Obama in his campaign. If he's not coming out and saying that this committee report is on the money, then it's not on the money. And look, Mike Morell, who is the Obama deputy director of the CIA, acting director of the CIA, who is being attacked as a Obama partisan, somebody who was trying to protect him on Benghazi. He just went on Charlie Rose last week and basically said this program was effective, it was moral, it produced key leads that led us to Osama bin Laden, and it was the right thing to do. And we didn't commit torture, and the program worked. So you've got two Obama CIA officials saying this. So this is Dianne Feinstein against the Obama administration.
Well, your column, in the title of your column, was that Brennan must defend the interrogation program. Do you think he'll go to the mat for this? Do you think he'll take the lead on this, or is it so counterproductive to everything the Obama administration now stands for that he'll just fade into the background?
Well, here's the problem. He's trapped because he's got the Senate Intelligence Committee on one hand, Dianne Feinstein, who is issuing this report, who is basically at war with the CIA on a lot of fronts, including saying that they spied on her and all the rest of it, and is pressuring him. On the other hand, you've got President Obama, who has gone out and called this torture, which it's not true, and who directly told Brennan last May he doesn't want him to defend the interrogation program. And so Brennan is caught between this committee on one hand and the president who is attacking the CIA, and the president who said don't defend the CIA, and he's leading hundreds of men and women who participated in this program and who are looking to him to defend. And so it's going to be a real question of character as to whether John Brennan steps up, defies his commander-in-chief, and issues in public, the kind of vigorous defense that's been made on the classified level, because we know that the CIA issued a vigorous rebuttal to the Intelligence Committee's report in classified form. So is John Brennan going to come out and say that publicly or not?
You know, you wrote, and I want you to remind the viewers, you wrote such a great book talking about how the interrogation program was effective, how it did save lives, how it did thwart future attacks, everything that's antithetical to what this report, is going to put forward. So refresh the folks' memory. Talk about the book and just summarize a couple of the key points from it.
I mean, the program was absolutely vital to protecting our country. I mean, if you think back to this, after September 11, 2001, we didn't know who had attacked us. We didn't know that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was the mastermind of 9/11. We didn't know who the members of his cell were and his operatives were. And most importantly, we didn't know what other attacks they had planned for us. And we started capturing terrorists, starting with Abu Zubaydah, who was a senior al-Qaeda operative, and interrogating them. And those interrogations led to the capture of other terrorists, including Ramzi bin al-Shib and eventually Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. And their interrogation led to the wrapping up of a number of terrorist cells out there that were planning follow-on attacks. Now, what the Intelligence Committee, the Democrats, are doing is they have lost the argument about CIA interrogations because they say, well, these are wrong and we shouldn't have done that. And reasonable people can disagree on whether we should use these techniques or not. But most Americans, when they find out that these techniques were effective and they worked and they stopped another 9/11 and they stopped follow-on attacks, say, yeah, we should use it. And so they know that's their weakness, that they can't, that they lose the debate with the American people on it when it comes to when it's shown that they're effective. So what they're doing is trying to go back and reverse engineer and say, we really didn't need these and they weren't effective and they didn't produce information. And that's just patently false.
Now, you would agree, I would presume, as you've indicated, with Michael Hayden, or he would agree with you, or you both agree with each other, that Dianne Feinstein's emotional opposition to the whole interrogation program taints this report.
Well, she started out with a conclusion and then went back and reverse engineered the facts to back it up. I mean, the way Jose Rodriguez, who was the CIA official who ran this program, the way he puts it is, if you think about intelligence, when you're trying to stop a terrorist attack, intelligence, and this is actually Mike Hayden, Rodriguez's corollary to Haydens' rule. Haydens' rule is that intelligence is like trying to put together a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, except you don't have the picture on the cover of the box.
Right.
And so you've got all these pieces all over that you got to put together. And a guy like KSM knows what the picture on the cover of the box looks like. So when you talk to him, he gives you the picture of the cover of the box. What Feinstein and the Democrats are doing now is they have the picture on the cover of the box and going back and saying, oh, but if you could have just put these two pieces together and that would have done it. But we didn't have the cover of the box at the time. So it's very easy to go back and once you have the cover of the box and say, oh, it would be so easy to put this thing together.
Right,
this is a snap.
right.
When you don't have that picture, you can't. And KSM and the detainees, they had the picture on the cover of the box. They gave us the picture on the cover of the box. And that's what was so important about this program.
Mark, what do you think the motivation is here now? Because Bush and Cheney, of course, are long gone, although the derangement syndrome lingers on. What do you think they're going to do with this or try to do with this ultimately?
I think they're writing for history, for one thing. The history has, I mean, look, if you look at all the polls, the majority of Americans support the CIA, what the CIA did. They support the interrogation program. The more they learn about it, the more they support it, because they keep saying, the problem with the Democrats' argument is that even if they make a compelling moral argument that you shouldn't use these techniques, in the end, people know that it was effective and it worked. So what they're trying to do is go at that effectiveness argument and try and muddy the American people's opinion over the effectiveness of this program. And what they're doing is they're spreading lies. It's plain and simple. They are lying about the effectiveness of this program. They are besmirching the honesty, integrity of the men and women of the CIA who kept us safe for all these years after 9/11. I mean, we take it for granted now that we haven't been hit again. It's because of this program, it's because of the people of the CIA who worked so hard and took all the risks to keep us safe that we haven't had that attack.
Yeah.
So, I think it's shameful what they're doing.
No, you're 100% right. Hey, listen, Mark, it's always great to talk to you. Very busy, and I appreciate your time. Marc Thiessen, American Enterprise Institute, of course, former chief speechwriter for President George W. Bush, and, of course, you read him at the Washington Post. All that on one little card is a lot, but you deserve it. And I'm not going to wish your Rangers good luck. I just don't have it in me. I never will. I hope they get bounced in the first round. But nonetheless, we will look forward to talking to you soon, Mark. Thank you.
Take care, Steve.
Take care. Marc Thiessen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Democrats' attempt to distort history, rewrite history, whatever you want to call it, and portray Dick Cheney in even a further negative light, if that's possible. But as I said, the derangement syndrome lives on long after Bush Cheney are gone. Right here. Panels next. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax Television.